And since that time, we've taken orders for well over 23,000 orders are gone. Now, we had 3 ship weeks when our day began. April the 13th sold out. April the 27th sold out. May the 18th is the only date I have remaining and fewer than 3,500 sets of these steaks to go around. Now, when you talk about the ribeye, you're talking about one of our most favorite steaks because of its tenderness, because of its marbleization, because of its juiciness, because of its beautiful quality. It's going to be delicious every single bite. And when it's Rastelli meat, you know it's the best you can buy. Did you all know that there is one 7-star restaurant in the world? It's in Dubai in the United Arab Emirates. It's in that famous hotel that we always see pictured when they show shots of the Dubai skyline. And inside that hotel is a 7-star restaurant. It's the only 7-star restaurant in the world. And do you know where that 7-star restaurant buys their meat? From Rastelli in South New Jersey here in the United States. That hotel and the folks that own it could buy their meat from any place on the planet. And they choose Rastelli because it's just that superior. And it's really that marvelous. And when you realize you're bringing that kind of quality home, this doesn't mean you go to the store and you hope that they have anything left. This gets delivered to your doorstep. And because it's coming in May, if you're having to clear out some room in the freezer and eat up some other things that are already there, great. And then we're going to load you up with the best of the best. 250 already gone in this show. Auto delivery is going to be one of the best ways to keep this good deal coming. Because if you go with auto delivery, you're going to get this delivery every 90 days, that's every 3 months, for not 1 year, 2 years. Ray Rastelli has offered to make that deal good for 2 years. The important thing to remember here, too, is that the price of meat will always rise and fall. More commonly, it rises. Here, you're going to be able to lock it in with auto delivery, and your deal tonight is big. At Rastellis.com, this same set of steaks would run you $179. Tonight, we are $49.04 less. So you're saving just about $50, free shipping and handling, 6 easy payments, and we ship it straight to your doorstep. And in this day and age, being able to open your door, ding dong, the steaks are here. Yeah, it's that easy. What we're going to do is welcome QVC's own personal butcher, Ray Rastelli. He's joining us live via Skype from his facility in South Jersey. And Ray, it is a pleasure to have you with us this evening.
David, it's great to see you there. I wish I was there with you, but I'm in our test kitchen, and you've actually spent some time here in the test kitchen with me.
I sure did, and it's attached to your processing facility, one of the neatest, cleanest, most amazing places I've ever visited. We feasted in that room after we toured the other parts of your facility, and Ray, just amazing. Ray, you have told me for a long time that the ribeye is your favorite steak. So as I do some cutting here, I'd love for you, our butcher, to give us a little insight into why the ribeye is such a special steak, and clearly it's the most popular today, but why should people very seriously consider this cut?
Well, this is a black Angus ribeye, David, and when we talk about black Angus, we talk, number one, about the finest cattle, not just in America, but in the world. Now you couple that with the ribeye portion. The ribeye is the muscle that has got the most marbleization on it. It's got the most tenderness and the most juiciness, because that marbling is what adds up to tenderness and juiciness. But we go a step further. We take that ribeye and we actually age it for 28 days, the same way we've been doing this for steakhouses for over 44 years. And what's really important to know is that these small family farmers in the Midwest that I've been working with for over 40 years, I know and I trust. And in fact, you now know them because you know me. And as your butcher, you need to trust your butcher. So we think today more than ever, knowing where your food comes is so important, where it comes from, but more importantly, who is actually providing it to you. So when I talk about the ribeye being my favorite steak, David, it's because it's tender, it's juicy, and it never ever lets me down. It's just that wonderful steak that when I get to a steakhouse, it's always my go-to steak. But now, you know, we're all stuck at home for a bit. This is a great way to have a great restaurant steak right in our own home.
Well, exactly. Your steakhouse is now your house, and that's the best part about picking this up tonight. Ray, let me update real quickly what's happening. Well over 23,000 sold for the day. I have 3,200 left now that can ship on May the 18th, and already 500 ordered in this show. Ray, we're going to come over to the slab right here. I want everyone to see this beautiful pack up of steaks. Now, Ray, you and I talk a lot about the deckle.
Yes.
And the deckle is that soft, tender top portion of the ribeye that just melts in your mouth. Give us a little tour of this steak as we take a look
Sure.
here, because I think a lot of people will appreciate your expertise.
Yep. So when you take a look at that ribeye steak, there are two muscles that really make up that ribeye steak. You have that center eye segment, and then you have that piece right around the top there, that darker cut. Yes, that's the deckle. And of course, what separates them is what I call the flavor pocket, right? And that's the pieces that really melt into those two muscles and give us that tenderness. But that deckle is that piece that's just going to melt in your mouth. Now that center will be just as tasty, but the deckle has a different texture to it, and it's that piece of meat that is the most tender on the entire steer.
Now, we also include a packet of your seasoning with the steaks. Is that right, Ray?
Yes, we do. And that seasoning, David, has got salt, it's got white pepper, regular pepper, and some garlic, and it's just a perfect blend. So, I always like to take that steak prior to cooking it, getting it to room temperature, and then I season both sides. I spray it with a little olive oil because I want to be able to sear it. They sear the juices in, and that's what you get. Look at that. When you can sear the outside and get that steak to actually look at the moisture coming out of that steak, and you can see all of those flavor pockets that I refer to, David. Those flavor pockets are made up from the marble that's inside of this ribeye steak. That's what makes a ribeye steak my favorite steak.
Oh, and Ray, if this is making everybody's mouth water, it should. And if this doesn't make your mouth water, then your eyes aren't open. So open them up. We'll wait, because we are definitely wanting everybody to get this before it's gone. Now, Ray, we began our day with 3 ship week opportunities.
Yeah.
And we've taken orders now. We've sold over 23,000, and 2 ship weeks have sold out. Only May 18th remains, and I have fewer than 3,000 remaining. That means 700 ordered in this show, and this will be your final look at today's special value. Now, Ray, I'm looking around my set here, and I don't see it, but these become individually packaged.
I've got one right here.
Oh, you have
David.
it. Okay, you have it. Perfect.
I do. Yes. Yes. And the packaging is really, really critical on these steaks, because not only will they last a year from your freezer. What I want to tell you about this packaging is it's vacuum packaging. So here's the process. We take these ribs and we age them for 28 days. We then trim the outside. We take all the fat off of that steak. We take the bone off that steak, and then we cut these beautiful 9-ounce steaks. Now, these are 9 ounces. They're big, thick steaks. They're what we call David-sized steaks.
Aha.
Now, when we vacuum package these, David, what we do is we seal in the freshness and we blast freeze them. But by sealing in the freshness, we keep out the bacteria. And in today's food safe environment, it's so critical. So what I like to do when you get these home is they're going to be frozen. You're going to put them right in your freezer. But when you're ready to use them, just take this out and put it in your refrigerator. It's going to take a few hours to slack. Once you're ready to cook it, take it out of your refrigerator, put it on a plate, take it out of the package, and just let it get to room temperature. It'll take about 20 to 30 minutes. Season both sides with the seasoning packet that we give you. Put some olive oil on each side, and get your skillet or your grill or your air fryer good and hot, and just put this right in. You're going to get that sizzle, which means you're searing that steak. You're searing in the juices, because we don't want those juices to actually come out of the steak while you're cooking. We want them to stay in. But what happens if I take this out of my freezer, I put it in my refrigerator, and I forget about it. I don't get to it for a day or two or up to 10. Well, it's okay. Remember, we vacuum packed it. We've sealed in all the freshness in this package. And if you want to put it back in the freezer, David, within the first 10 days, you can take this package, because we've kept the integrity of the product and we've kept it fresh and we've kept the bacteria out, and you can put it right back into your freezer and not have to worry about it. Pull it out another day.
I'm telling you what, Ray, this is the kind of thing that just makes you want to sit down to the table and dig right in. This is going to be so great for families who are looking to add something else to their dinner menu, and to be able to have these shipped straight to their door. Ding dong, the steaks are here. And then get them right into the freezer. We've now taken orders for 24,000 for the day. That means in this, we have 2,600 left for the entire day.
Oh my goodness.
1,000 gone in this show. And we have your daughter-in-law doing a little cooking on tape, I understand.
Yes, yes.
Let's take a look here and look and listen.
It's your butcher. Today I'm going to show you how I make my favorite steak, the ribeye steak. First I take our seasoning that comes with our steak. We're going to season one side. We're going to take our olive oil and we're going to spray that. And good and oiled up. We're going to then flip it over. We're going to season the other side. And remember, we've gotten this steak to room temperature because that's really going to give us the even cooking. We're then going to spray this side of it. And now it's ready to be cooked. That's simple. So I'm going to hand it off to my daughter-in-law, Brittany, who's really the cook. There you go, Britt.
Thank you. And the butcher, who also happens to be my father-in-law, has made this very, very simple for those of us that cook at home and are busy moms. So using those tips, I also have a very hot cast iron skillet ready to go. We're gonna hear that nice sear. And something fun that I learned along the way are those cross grill marks that we see in the steakhouses. Just take your steak, same side, make sure that you get the grill marks on each side. But what we're gonna do is let this rest here for just about 3 minutes, and then I will flip it and let it rest another 3 minutes. It's important that you don't want to flip the steak too many times. Once it's finished, the end result will look just like this. I'm going to pass that back to you.
Thank you, Britt. And look at this beautiful steak. That's simple. Literally 3 or 4 minutes on each side, and we've got a beautiful, juicy, tender steak. But let me show you what I like to do. This is a 9-ounce steak. It's very thick. So because of the size of this steak, I easily take this steak, cut it in half, and we're gonna have dinner for 2. Look at how simple this is to make a beautiful steak dinner for 2 with just one of these beautiful 9-ounce ribeye steaks. So, mangia bene.
One steak can turn easily into 2 meals. Well, that is if you're not me, because one steak's gonna be my one meal. But look at this, I just can't get over how juicy and how perfect these steaks are. Take a look here. And look again at the moisture. Look at the juiciness. Look at all of that great marbleization that creates this beautiful melt in your mouth steak experience. There are lots of steaks. There is only one ribeye. And that's why this becomes a steakhouse favorite around the country. We have sold over 24,000 now for the day. I have 2,300 remaining, and only May 18th is when we can ship these out. We've taken orders for how many in this show? 1,300 have now been spoken for. Lots of you are saying, yeah, I want to stock my freezer, because they come individually packaged and frozen and ready to go in your freezer. Now, when these arrive, they're going to be in a cooler with some dry ice. There may be little or no dry ice remaining. If you open your cooler and your steaks are still cool to the touch, you're fine. Put them right into the freezer and there'll be no problem. If you get home or maybe you're already home. If you had a situation where you forgot to put something out to thaw, run some cool water in a bowl in the sink. Leave your steak in its vacuum sealed package and plunge it in the cool water and let it sit there. In no time at all, that steak will thaw. Your temptation will be to put hot water on it. Don't do that. Use cold water and it will absolutely thaw up and be beautiful. What we're going to do is go off to our phone lines. We're going to welcome in Carol in North Carolina. Ray is still, I think, live on Skype. We have Carol live on the phone. Carol, good evening and welcome to our show.
Thank you, David. It's good to talk to you, and Ray, too. And I love these steaks. They're my favorite. Every time you have them, I get them. I don't buy anything else. I don't even get anything in the grocery store. I wait for Ray.
So talk to us, Carol.
They just melt in your mouth. It's just, they're absolutely pretty. You can cut it with a fork, and the taste is exquisite, I'll tell you.
Now, this is not your first time ordering the ribeyes, I guess.
Oh, no, No. I still have the filet mignon in the freezer, but I said I've got to have some of this, too, so I'm getting it. I sure am.
Now, what does your family say when they know Rastelli steaks are on the menu?
They all come to the table before it's ready.
We've heard that.
They sit at the table and have a fork in one hand, a knife in the other, and said, "Where is it?
Where's the beef?" Right?
Where's the beef? You're right.
Oh, my goodness. Well, that is fantastic.